A women warrior, Velu Nachiyar.
Characters: Divya as Velu Nachiyar, Haripriya as Muthu Vadanganatha Devar, Adarshini as Udayal, Kimaya as Quili, Adarshini as Colonel Banjur, Haripriya as Marudhu Brothers, Adarshini as Hyderali. Drama story narrator Adarshini. Hello everyone, in this drama we are going to see about a woman who made a difference. A proud lady, lion-hearted queen Velu Nachiyar, and going to experience the sense of sacrifice of the Tamilians. Queen Velu Nachiyar, a supreme hero, a first ever queen who defeated the British in the Indian freedom struggle early in the 18th century and won back our Tamil soil. In the middle of the 18th century, Velu Nachiyar, the courageous queen of Sivagangai, lost her husband, lost her kingdom, and was forced to live alone for 8 years, but only to come back stronger and take revenge. Velu Nachiyar was born in Ramnath to the royal couple King Chellamuthu Vijaya Raghunatha Sethupathi and Muttathal Nachiyar in 1730. She was brought up like a prince, trained in all Indian martial arts like Silambam, Valari, horse riding, archery, and handling different weapons. She was also proficient in many languages including English, French, and Urdu. Velu Nachiyar was married to the second Raja of Sivaganga, Muthu Vadanganatha Devar. Later, they had a girl child called Vellachi Nachiyar. The Nachiyar's family and the people in the kingdom were living happily until a disloyal act by the British troops. Enough. Let us go to Sivaganga soil. We will meet Velu Nachiyar, who was living happily with her people. Then we'll continue.
Greetings to the King and the Queen.
Greetings to all my ministers who decorates the kingdom. Are you all taking care of the country activities? My lord, the people of our country have no problem. Not only the people, but all living creatures of our kingdom are living happily in your region.
My heart overflows with joy when hearing this. The situation should persist forever.
Ambassador enters the palace. Ambassador, greetings to the king and the queen. Here is the message from Colonel Banjur.
Quilly, can you read this message for us?
With my pleasure. To the Sivagangai kingdom, this is an invitation extended to negotiate in connection with the business contract with the British company and also to discuss about the rights that have been obtained from the Nawab of Arcot to collect taxes.
O King, I think that there is a manual behind this message. We should deal this carefully.
The crowd that came to survive tries to divide and rule us. Our king considers his people's welfare greater than his own interest. He will not be afraid of this fuss.
O King, please order me. I will submit their head at your feet. Oh dear, Marudhu brothers, do not be angry. As long as you two are behind me, I have no worries. Let's go and meet them tomorrow.
As per your orders, Your Excellency. Scene 2. Meeting with Colonel Banjur.
Greetings to the king and the queen. Tell us, what was the purpose of calling us? We have informed you many times that the right to collect the tax have been obtained from the Nawab, but you say you can't pay the tax. I order you now to pay the tax immediately along with the amount already owed.
Do you think we will pay tax in our own country? Don't even think about it in your dream. You come to our country just for trading. Do you think we will allow you to rule our people? Your intention never will be fulfilled.
If you do not pay tax, we will get down into shocking actions beyond your imaginations. We will take Sivagangai into our control.
We Tamilians treat respect greater than our life. Until there is a last drop of blood in our body, We will not be a slave for the people who came here to survive. This is our ancestors' land. We will not give you even a handful of land.
Colonel Banjur, I am finally saying that we will never pay the tax.
Scene 3. Kalayar Koil. One fine day in 1772, the king of Sivaganga, Muthu Vananganatha Devar, went for his usual worship at the Shiva temple, Kalayar Koil. The British army attacked the Kalayar Koil in a very secretive manner. The king was completely unprepared for the war. Finally, Raja Muthu Vananganatha Devar was brutally killed by the combined forces of the Nawab of Arcad and the British military. They also looted the jewels from the temple.
Hey, you will not pay tax.
Scene 4. Velu Nachiar's escape and her oath. Velu Nachiar was shocked by hearing the news of her husband's murder. After losing her husband, Velu Nachiar and her child Vellachi Nachiar escapes to Dindigul with help of her minister. Without losing her courage, she travels through a forest. On the way, she meets a village girl named Udayal.
Oh God, somebody has fallen down. Madam, are you okay? You look tired and dizzy. Come to my home, take some rest and have some food.
There is no time for food. I need to do something immediately to recover my kingdom back.
May I know your name?
People call me Velu Nachiar.
Our Queen Velu Nachiar, what happened to you?
There's no time. I'm running to recover my kingdom back from the British. They are chasing me. If they ask you about me, don't tell anything. We'll meet again.
Velu Nachiar leaves the place. British army enters into the scene.
Hey girls, stop there. Do you know which way Velu Nachiar ran? I don't know. I'll kill you if you don't tell me now. Do not beat me. I don't know.
British army tortured Udayal to reveal where their queen was hiding and then killed Udayal. The news of Udayal's death reached Velu Nachiar. She took an oath to avenge the British and regain her throne.
For my kingdom.
Scene 5. Udayal all-woman army and the master plan. Soon after, Velu Nachiar built an all-woman army and named it as Udayal Army in the memory of a brave woman, Udayal, and trained them in warfare. Quili was appointed as the commander of Udayal army. She also formed alliances and plotted her revenge against the British. She requested additional military support from Hyder Ali, the Nawab of Mysore. He offered the infantry and cavalry to fight against the British. Humanity flourished beyond religion. 8 years had rolled by. The queen and her well-trained army were all set for the war. The army had courage and thirst for vengeance, but Velu Nachiar thought that this alone was not enough to win the British. So Velu Nachiar devised a master plan.
Long live Muharram, long live your clan and your family.
My regards to the great queen.
They cunningly killed a brave king and stolen the country like a thief. I will not die without regaining freedom for my people.
Beloved Velu Nachiar, I respect your feelings and glad to help you as your brother. Please ask me, what do you want from me?
Thank you very much. To recover my mother's soil, please help me with your military assistance.
Inshallah, I assure you that my special forces to act in support of you. The time has come to reclaim our motherland.
Yeah, the time has come to devise a trident strategy of war.
it should be. It's very important that we destroy the enemy's weapons before we take up the battle. This will save our soldiers' lives. I hear that the enemies have guarded their weapons in the Rajarajeshwari Amman temple. That is, Tamilians are allowed to worship in the Rajarajeshwari Amman temple only during Navaratri. That too, cautiously, only women are allowed to worship by lighting earthen lamps. That's the time we have to destroy the British army. Every step we take must come down like the thunderbolt falling on the British head.
Victory is ours.
Scene 6. The Day of Revenge. Velu Nachiyar, Maruthu brothers, Kuili and her Udayal army were all set for the Day of Revenge. Year 1780, the day of Vijayadashami. Velu Nachiyar and Udayal army successfully entered the Rajarajeshwari temple in disguise with hidden weapons. At the perfect hour, on Kuili's command, the Udayal army started attacking the British soldiers. Then Kuili took a bucket full of ghee from the temple, poured it over her, lit herself and jumped into the weapon warehouse. All the weapons of British was blown up. The first woman suicide bomber in the history. Then Velu Nachiyar's army entered the scene.
For my kingdom.
Listen carefully. Enemies should withdraw and must run away from our country. Let our forces advance with heroism to give peace to our motherland. We should show who we are to our enemies and should regain our homeland.
Life is the only weapon. Fight for our country as long as there is life.
They fought fearlessly, crushed the British forces, took revenge, and Velu Nachiyar regained her kingdom. What a noble warrior Kuili was, and what a mastermind Velu Nachiyar was.
Oh Queen, I apologize. I have committed a number of crimes against your homeland. Now I realize that. Please leave me and the rest of the force. I promise British forces will not come back again to Sivaganga and disturb you.
Can you write this down?
Why not, Queen? Why not?
Revenge is easy, but enmity only will grow more and more. It's my responsibility as queen to give peace to Sivaganga. Mr. Bonjour, listen to me. We are Tamilians, innocent and want to live independently. We celebrate giving and helping others. I am leaving here alive to give peace to Sivaganga because Tirukkural is our scripture. We learn from Purananuru, all people from different countries are friends and relatives. So, sign this apology letter and go off from here.
No wonder why the British did not want to keep any historical records of this brave queen, as they were so ashamed and overwhelmed of bravery and wisdom. After regaining the Sivaganga kingdom, Queen Velu Nachiyar ruled for 10 glorious years. Later in 1796, the valiant queen died. Velu Nachiyar will be remembered forever for her bravery and strategic warfare, and will be an inspiration for the many generations to come. The late J. Jayalalitha, former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, inaugurated the Veeramangai Velu Nachiyar Memorial in Sivagangai on 18th July 2014. A 6 feet bronze statue of the Queen was also erected, and it was announced that January 3 would be celebrated as the birth anniversary of the undaunted Queen who shattered gender rules as early as the 18th century. Veeramangai Velu Nachiyar.
Veeramangai Velu Nachiyar. Veeramangai Velu Nachiyar. Veeramangai Velu Nachiyar.
Veeramangai Velu Nachiyar.
History tells us about the Quit India movement of 1942. It was a great movement, the most popular and powerful in the cause of our freedom struggle. Today we will recreate some key scenes, and today we will also experience the glorious moments.
In 1942, the world was at war. Gandhiji knew it was the right moment for the final battle. But what can be the name of the movement?
We should have a new slogan that should be the final message to the British people.
Can you tell the British to just get out of India? Get out!
That would be impolite. We, as Indians, should be modest. Rajgopalchari, our conscience keeper, can suggest.
What about retreat or withdraw?
Retreat, withdraw. Anything better? Our dear Mayor of Bombay, Yusuf Meherli, he is very good at creating new slogans. Some years ago, he coined a slogan, Simon Go Back. Let's ask him.
Yes, I propose Quit India.
That would be great. Quit India. Quit India movement.
Gandhiji, I have another catchphrase also. Do or die.
Do or die. It will be our motto.
On the 8th of August, the Quit India resolution was passed in the Bombay meeting. India demanded the immediate ending of the British rule in India. There was a huge gathering at Govalia Tank, Bombay. Gandhi made his famous speech here.
Here is the mantra, a short one that I give you. The mantra is do or die. We shall either free India or die in the attempt.
Gandhi was arrested. Within 24 hours, all the leaders, Patel, Azad and Nehru, were also arrested.
But the movement grew from strength to strength. These arrests made Quit India a mass movement. On the 9th of August, the tricolour was hoisted by a new leader, a lady, Aruna Asaf Ali.
Chittor Fort. A humongous war is waging between the Rajputs of Mewar and the Delhi Sultans. But believe it or not, the war's sole reason is the obsession of the tyrannical Delhi Sultan on Rani Padmini, wife of Ratan Singh and the Queen of Rajputs. But how did all this havoc start? Let's go back in time.
To us, Sanko.
6 years after Alauddin Khilji's marriage, there is the king, Ratan Singh, and the gorgeous princess, Padmini, soon to be queen. And that is Queen Nagmati, the first wife of Ratan Singh, clearly seen to be jealous. Now that the marriage is over, let the celebrations begin. Meanwhile, Alauddin Khilji's palace. My dear, I just heard the singer's performance. She sang beautifully about Queen of Mewar. She's Padmini.
Is she that beautiful?
Now, Alauddin decides to go to Chittor to see Rani Padmini.
Greetings, O King.
Greetings, Sultanji.
I've heard that you recently got married and about your beautiful wife. Could I take a look of her face for once?
Ratan Singh accepted reluctantly, and then he told a servant to inform all this to Padmini. How did Padmini react?
Oh, I have heard things about his behavior towards women. How shall I reveal my face? But disrespecting a guest is a black mark to our kingdom.
You shall see my face, but only on a mirror. Get the mirror ready.
As she said, Padmini stood in front of the mirror. As Alauddin reaches his palace again, he is already obsessed with the beauty of Padmini.
What a beautiful queen. And the fort. What if they were mine?
Malik, I want the Chittor fort to be seized. Kill everyone, including the king. But the queen, I want her to be alive. Alive with me.
Oh yes, Sultan. It shall happen as you wish. I'll come back with the queen.
And here comes Malik's army. A trained, big and dangerous army, which would decide the fate of Mewar.
Attack!
And sadly, Ratan Singh is killed by Alauddin Khilji in the process. Long live Mewar. Just then, Nagmati told Padmini the bitter truth.
I know the cause of the war, Padmini. The Sultan was obsessed with your beauty and wanted to seize the court and have you. How do I know? Malika, wife of Sultan, sent me a letter regarding this. Now our king is no more. What shall we do?
The biggest crime a woman could commit is being the reason for her husband's death. And I did it. Yet do you want me to commit another crime by living with a man like the Sultan? No way. My dignity is my wealth, and I shall protect it. To do so, I shall burn myself in the burning pyre of my husband.
I shall also do the same. I have no other choice.
Then she fearlessly walked into the pyre of Ratan Singh, followed by Nagmati. That is one desire of a man leading to a dreadful war.
Thanks for watching till the end.